This week's discussion board reflection is the first question is, what experience have you had with interactive technology as a student or a teacher? And since working as a para, I've been interacting with a lot of the projectors in the classroom. The use of it is very well used, and it's able to, project pictures. For instance, right now, students are listening to podcasts, and they are writing papers over that podcast. So my coworker, the teacher in the classrooms, have been putting up pictures using the projector to show them what the environment looks like, so they get a visual as well as putting the two to two together. As a student, I didn't have much of the projector used, but since they've came, it's actually been a great tool to use. So with the second question, I was just asking the interactive whiteboard. I have not had a lot of use of it, but my mom has a smart tech whiteboard in her classroom. She uses it quite frequently, and seeing the interactive, being able to, you can project what you need on that, as well as write on it, post, arrow over, and as well, it's a great tool to, doing for quizzes and those interactive games, being able to have the students answer, and then you can help solve the problems with those interactive whiteboards, which I think is really great. With the interactive remotes that I've seen, my mom in her classroom, she uses the iClicker. For me, the iClickers are okay. I don't know if they're the best, but they work. They just allow her to move around in the classroom and to be able to move to the next slide, and be able to just go back and forth without having to go over to the computer and click next, which she likes to do. As with interactive apps, with where I'm working at now as a para, we use Kahoot. So I like this because the kids, they get to do a lot of math quizzes or just games, just over math problems, and getting it to answer, setting that up so they can answer those questions, and then seeing, okay, who's winning, who's not. So I think that's a great tool. I really prefer that because I think for me it's easier to set up than the other ones that I've noticed. But I found that one to be a little bit easier to use. After reading the article about the Clicking in the Classroom article, the study was done to see how introduction of technology into the classroom, how it's improving teaching and how it's reaching more students in more efficient ways. So with these clickers in this article, so this has been becoming more of a use in the classroom, and this is also acting, as an active engagement in the classroom. These devices, the students are able to have immediate feedback and are able to use them. Where I currently work, we don't have them yet. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but I think it's a great way for the teachers to have the students answer. But, with Chromebooks and having those set up to, to the teacher's computer, they can project the students' answers on the board. I think the Chromebooks have that more of that technology available. But, I think for younger kids, I think it's a great way to have those clickers as a good introduction of, okay, let's do, what's this letter? And let's click on, A, B, or C, or D, answering those questions. I think it's great. This article was informative and provided a lot of information with their research and what they were able to see, how these kids were with the growth with those, with the use of that instrument. I don't know if I would use them in my classroom per se, because by the time that we're done, the clickers may become obsolete because they're not being used as much as they were. I think technology continues to change every year, every day. It's different. So I think with the advancement of Chromebooks, I believe that there's going to be more use through those active engagement activities and using that in the classrooms. And that is my discussion board post for this week.